Hello again. Since the Suez Crisis in 1956, Britain has had very little influence in the Middle East. But it seems that this is all about to change. The United States is backing a plan which would see our former Prime Minister installed as the Viceroy or Governor, ruler, call it what you will, of the Gaza Strip. This is such an improbable development that some viewers will perhaps think it is some mad fantasy which I have dreamed up. Not a bit of it. It's all over the news today, and I give a link to the Guardian newspaper's article on the subject yesterday. The incredible thing is, how many people are in favour of this scheme? As I say, the Americans are backing it, and even the Daily Telegraph has an editorial this morning headed Tony Blair is Gaza's best hope for peace. Tony Blair. I think I can safely say without fear of contradiction that almost everybody in this country on both the left and the right have no time at all for this awful man. The left hate him for his role in the invasion of Iraq, among other things, and the right despise him as the man who triggered mass migration to this country. Few people have a good word to say for him, and there is not the least chance of his ever being able to rule this country again. However, in America, and indeed in Gaza itself, people feel more well-disposed towards him, and he has for the last decade or so been reinventing himself as an elder statesman. He has been waiting in the wings for much of this time, like General de Gaulle, for his country to call upon him as a saviour. That has become more and more unlikely as the years pass, and so he's prepared to make do with running a few square miles of the Middle East instead. Officially, this role would be as head of a transitional authority in the Gaza Strip, backed by both America and the United Nations. This body would run the area for 5 years or so. Many on the international scene now view this as the best solution to the conflict in Gaza, but whether or not the Israelis will agree to such a thing remains to be seen. Which of us could possibly have foreseen this turn of events? None of us want Tony Blair anywhere near government, but all those years of sucking up to various rich and important people seems at last to have paid off for him. You might have thought that most people in the Middle East would have had enough of colonial administrators from Europe running their countries, but perhaps the people in Gaza are now left with little choice, and they'll have to put up with whatever is imposed upon them by the United Nations and the Americans. Just imagine having Tony Blair suddenly declared your new king or head of a transitional authority or whatever you call it. It's like a story by Rudyard Kipling. If it comes off, then this really is likely to be Britain's last involvement east of Suez. Incidentally, if anybody really wishes to help the people of Gaza in a practical way, then I give in the description to this video a link to a charity which will certainly be able to make good use of your money. It's a charity called UK Care for Children, and you can either sponsor a child in the Gaza Strip or simply send money. I have been sponsoring a child living near Rafah for some years now, long before the war erupted there. I started doing so because I used to live near Rafah and have good memories of the town. This is a Muslim charity. One of the trustees is also a trustee of the Finsbury Park Mosque in London. But you may rest assured that every penny you send will be used directly for helping children in Gaza. It is a better way of helping families in the Gaza Strip than chanting from the river to the sea and so on, or sticking a Palestinian flag on your Facebook page.